So that shiny new game just came out, the first Descendant, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Well, let's take a look at the game for some first impressions. Keep in mind this is not a full review, this is a quick look at the game. I played the game for about 4.5 hours, so I'll show some footage of the game while describing it and giving a few thoughts on it. One nice thing about this game is that it's free, and on all consoles, PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, with crossplay as well. One reason I spent so long on this game, 4 hours as opposed to my usual 2, is because there were so many menus to look through, and each mission lasts quite a bit. Immediately on startup of the game though, you have to agree to the terms of service, which is fine, but in every multiplayer game that I play, I always opt out of collecting my data. For this game though, at least on PC, as I'm unsure of the other consoles, I could not opt out. I had to accept all of it if I wanted to play. A minor thing to be sure, but it was a little annoying. The game begins with a scene describing some backstory, and I'll summarize it. A century ago, humans were defeated by the Vulgus, who are from another world. Then the Colossi came, who destroyed everything. It says humans then found hope and were gifted the forgotten ancestors' power. Then another threat appeared, the new leader of the Vulgus. The humans with the powers are called Descendants, like the game's name. After that, you can now select your character. You have 3 default starting options to choose from. I read each one's stats and abilities, and I chose the middle one as I just liked that guy the best personally. In the beginning mission, you get to the Iron Heart, which is very important. You need 3 of those to close the dimensional wall, thus stopping the Colossi and Vulgus. But this mission was doomed to fail as it sets up the rest of the missions. The new leader of the Vulgus, who seems crazy powerful, takes the Iron Heart for himself and leaves. Before that though, when your character touches the Iron Heart, they get a vision. In it is Guide, who seems like an AI and only some Descendants can see her. She pretty much guided me through every single mission that I played, more or less. After the Vulgus leader leaves with the Iron Heart, you fight an enemy, but it's pretty weak, and in fact all of the enemies up to this point have been really easy as it's just training, so I'll just skip all of those. The main hub is on Albion, and this is where you'll encounter lots of other real online players walking around as well. There's also a lot of different vendors and places to interact with, but on top of all of that, there is an unbelievable amount of menus. I spent like 30 minutes just looking through them all, and I still did not understand some of them as I haven't unlocked things to even make some of those menus work. You can customize your loadout and your appearance. There's a battle pass, and there's a ton of items that you can buy. I mean a ton. You can buy new characters, new skins, new gun skins, different currencies, and so on. Then around the hub area, there's places like the mailbox, storage, an area to upgrade your character, a workbench, a place to upgrade gun mods and character mods, and again, so on. I haven't even used every location yet, and I played for 4 hours. I'm gonna skip over a bunch of exploring the main base area and reading menus, and then jump to the first mission now. In order to get to the first mission, once you're done talking, you'll need to pull up the map and manually teleport there. I'm gonna skip over all of the mission details as I glossed over them and instead just focused on killing enemies. But you always have to talk to NPCs before you can do missions though. Once you get to the mission area, there will be a floating container you press to begin the mission. Other people can join your mission, even if you're mid-mission or at the end. Same for you can join others as well. I never did that on purpose, but a few times other people were on the mission that was next for me, and I joined halfway. Or even one time I joined and then immediately I finished the mission because they beat it right after I joined. Most missions are things like defeat all enemies, plant a bomb, and little things like that. Once you do all of the little missions though, a bigger one will be next. This is where you play either solo or in teams of 4, and there are bigger bosses to defeat in these missions. The enemies start easy and progressively get harder. However, you also pick up and get weapons as rewards, so you're also always doing more damage assuming you equip those weapons. You have 3 weapons, a grappling hook, and then you have 4 class skills that you can use as well. You can double jump and dodge. For my character, my class skills were various types of grenades or explosions, more or less. The first weapon I had to begin the game did about 170 damage I think, but at the end when I got off, I had a scout rifle that did 6k damage. I'm unsure if the damage is just going to keep going up or if eventually there will be a plateau where it can't go up anymore. For now though, it just keeps going up. Speaking of weapons, there's several different kinds: assault rifles, SMGs, machine guns, snipers, scout rifles, shotguns, and more. After every mission, I looked through my guns and equipped the ones that did the highest damage. I wasn't too stingy with specific guns. Eventually, I unlocked modules for my character and my guns. Things like more health, more damage, higher critical chance, and so on. When I unlocked that, I'd change my modules and guns both after each mission, always picking the guns with higher damage and the modules that would benefit me most. Once I had weapons that did pretty good damage, the enemies weren't too much of a challenge for me, except for the final boss battles. Those bosses are tanks and take forever to kill, even with 4 people. I did not die or go down even once in the 4 hours that I played, but I did revive a teammate one time before they bled out. Oh wait, I did die. Several times in fact, from me missing jumps. There's some jumping with grappling hooks that you have to do, and I messed up a few times. To enemies though, I never died. The gameplay loop is actually kind of addicting. After each mission, I immediately wanted to change my weapons to ones with higher damage, make some other changes, and then start a new new mission and test it all out. I think the graphics are fairly good, and well, honestly most of the game is pretty good for what it is. The biggest upside is that it's free too. Do missions, upgrade, do harder missions, and repeat. Either do it by yourself or with friends. The performance was, well, it was mostly okay. On PC I was using DLSS getting around 70 to 100 FPS on 1440p, but I did experience big sudden dips to like the 20s every now and then, sometimes mid-battle too. It wasn't constant though, it was every now and then. It was enough to be annoying, but not enough to seriously impact the gameplay. As of writing this, there's actually 230,000 people in the game according to Steam, which is a huge amount. Only time will tell how many of those people play long term. I think this game is good, and I was addicted to upgrading my weapons and my character. The enemies can be challenging at times, and it's free to download and try, so I don't have too many complaints. Though that's my personal opinion. Whether or not this is your type of game, I'll see you on the next one.